Hi, everybody. Guess what? I think I have finally figured out how to do this silly camera in landscape. It's very easy, but of course, I was trying to follow some YouTube thing that was 2010 or something, so it's the reason some of you got drunk when I was sideways one day. Oh well, I guess we can live a lifetime and not be perfect. Anyway, a statistic that I saw today, which is a silver lining for one of the silver linings in this virus episode. Since 2002, this is the first March where there hasn't been a school shooting. That's a pretty heavy statistic, but I'm grateful for it. All right, I made up some affirmation cards some time ago. That's what's on the front. It's kind of my logo. I love this lady with lots of different colors. And it's a deck, so what I thought I would do is pull out a couple of these and talk about them. So many of them are taken from books that I liked, other people that have mentioned some affirmations. These are positive thoughts that can substitute when you're kind of tending to be negative. Okay, here's one. Let's read this one. Oh, this is a nice one to have at this time. Money is available to me as easily as the air I breathe. Now, how do you use that? Money's not terribly available. But the thing I've learned in my lifetime is don't write the ending. And that my higher power loves impossible situations. Because you see, if it was a situation that I could take credit for, because it was a brilliant idea of mine or something that I worked hard for, then I would take credit for it. But when something happens serendipitously and I can't take credit for it, you can call it a coincidence, you can call it synchronicity, you can call it whatever you want, but I say don't write the ending, because when you do, you leave no room for your God to work. Don't write the ending. So right now, money is available to me as easily as the air I breathe is not true for a lot of people. But let's put it out there and keep saying that and let the universe provide for you. The universe is your source, not your job, not the employer you had, not your husband, your wife, your grandmother, or whoever. This higher power is your source. So don't limit the power of this creator to work in your life. Don't write the ending. Oh, there's another one. Between stimulus and response lies a space. That space holds our freedom, the power to choose our response. That's by Viktor Frankl. Now, if you don't know anything about Viktor Frankl, he lost his entire family in the Holocaust. And one of the things that he ended up realizing and wrote a whole theory of psychotherapy on is that when he was in the concentration camps, the Nazi soldiers could take his family, he could kill them all, they could do everything to him, but the one thing that couldn't be taken from him was the power to choose his attitude. And so what he said is there's that little tiny space between something that happened and your response. And in that space, human beings can choose their attitude. Animals can't. They're driven by instinct. We're animal and we're driven by instinct. But we have this intellect that is like the creator. We can create with our thinking, and boy, do we create a mess. I think we've gone over that before. So he's saying in that little nanosecond, we can choose to respond instead of reacting. Now, I disagreed with that when I first began this journey. I thought there's no space. You do something to me, and I immediately react out of emotion. Thank heaven, after beating my head against the wall and being finally fresh out of plans, I've learned that there is that tiny little nanosecond where I can choose my attitude. I can choose a response instead of just react. The gift about that is that you can take responsibility. And that was very scary for me. I used some blaming when I didn't even realize I was doing that. It was like, oh, well, I would like to go to graduate school, but I can't because now we live down here and there's no graduate school here. So that was convenient, wasn't it? Well, it's funny because I was always griping because my husband wouldn't tell me how much he'd withdrawn out of the ATM. And when I divorced, I thought, well, somebody didn't write what they'd taken out of the ATM. And so I was having trouble balancing the checkbook back in those days when you did that sort of thing. Then I realized there wasn't anybody in this house but me. My kid was little. She wasn't having a checkbook yet. And the only one in the house was me. And so there were many times that it was an advantage for me to blame other people so I didn't have to take responsibility. That's a real terrible awakening, isn't it? Well, today I'll draw one more, just for third luck is the charm. And then we'll go. Let's see what this one is. Oh, yes. Intuition is that still small voice we call a hunch. That comes from me. That's one I wrote up. But there's a wonderful woman that I like to read, and she always says, never argue with the hunch. I'll leave you with that one. Never argue with the hunch, and don't write the ending. Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Sarah's saying, please don't go. You know, you've heard me preach enough. Anyway, I love you all. Oh, there she is sending 500 hearts. I love you, Sarah, and I love all of you for watching. Thank you so much. And if you wanted me to talk about anything in particular, please just let me know in the chat. Let me know in your comments or send me a message. I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have a good day.